Hey there everybody, Exelbirth here, and this is a colorful house. Actually, it's not really a house. It's just a wall I made for this video with a door in it. And it is made entirely out of materials found in, let's see, how do you pronounce that? Natura? One of those two words. Anyway, this is a Mod Monday review about the Natura mod. Natura mod. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, this mod is kind of a compatibility mod with the Tinker's Construct, which I still have installed, as you can see with this copper gravel. Now, there's one thing I do want to point out right away, is that the door textures don't quite work on double doors. Although the doors do still work like a double door, even if the handle's on the wrong side on the right one. But it's a minor problem. Anyway, the main thing about this mod is the amount of different nature-related items that it adds to the game. Namely, trees and other various plants. Because what else is in nature? Anyway, it comes with a wide variety of trees, which give you a wonderful selection of different wood colors. You have, well, one of the most common trees you'll see is the sakura tree. Very easy to spot due to its pink leaves. Its logs look like this, and its wood looks like this. Here we have a eucalyptus, which has pinker looking wood. This is a ghost wood tree. This one is a hopseed wood tree, maple, silverwood, silverbell, bloodwood, amaranth wood, tiger wood, willow, darkwood, and blastwood, or fusewood, not blastwood. Now, these last two you can only find growing in the nether. So if you want to get these colors of wood, you're going to have to go take a visit there eventually. Now, one thing that is very fun about the fuse wood that I'm not sure if the dark wood is able to do as well. Let me check. Nope, dark wood doesn't do it. But with fuse wood, it will explode when it is broken, either with an axe, with a fist, or in creative mode even. And it definitely does a pretty decent punch. However, if you are far enough away from it, you can take minimal to no damage. So just be very careful when harvesting this wood. Let's get the rain out of here. Let's see. Now the last wood here is actually redwood, and it is a massive tree. In fact, it has a tooltip on its sapling to plant it in a 7x7 square, which I have done over here, and it still has not grown yet. So, kind of annoying that I can't show it quite yet, but eventually perhaps I will be able to. In fact, maybe we can speed that along. I already tried bone mealing it. Bone meal does not work. At least it did not work for the entire 5 minutes I was spamming bone meal on the tree. Anyway, moving on, let's talk about berry bushes. Now, berry bushes seem to grow upwards when they have grown berries. And I had tested this with some bone meal, and you can get them to grow infinitely highward, infinitely towards the sky with bone meal, so long as you have enough bone meal. Now what we have here is raspberry, blueberry, blackberry, and mallowberry? Yes, mallowberry. Now in order to harvest them, was it right click? Yes it was. Right clicking the bush will harvest them, leaving your berry bush to start growing some more berries. So very good way of getting food. Very simple as well. Now these berry bushes grow in the overworld. There's also 4 berry bushes that grow in the nether. And in order to plant these things, you're going to need to have some tainted soil. We'll get to that in a moment. But the different berry bushes that you can find in the Nether are Blightberry, Stingberry, Skyberry, and Duskberry. And if you look at the tooltips when you're hovering over the berries, it will tell you some special abilities about them. That's actually a feature I really love about this mod. It actually will tell you some things without having to, find out yourself. Now, I haven't actually got to test these out, but it seems pretty obvious that the Blightberry will heal you, the Stingberry will give you strength, the Skyberry will give you slow fall, and the Duskberry will give you night vision. However, these all say a little bit evil, so I'm assuming that they will cause negative effects upon eating. Let me switch over to this mode, and I'll try to work up an appetite while we're going around. Now, another food item you can collect is actually some more mushroom varieties, which I have planted down here. These are glow shrooms, and you can combine all three of them with a bowl and get glow shroom stew. However, eating glow shroom stew will give you mining fatigue and a little bit of... What was that other thing it gave me? I have completely forgotten. It gives you 2 negative effects, but it does give you the benefit of being able to see at night. And the one negative effect is so short that you can almost forget about it, which I obviously have. So, moving on even further, this is burning sand, or something like that. When you stand on it, it hurts you, because it is hot. You find it in the Nether. Let's see, how close was I? Heat sand. I was somewhat close. Okay, that is heat sand, and this is tainted soil. Just make sure there are no creepers around. Now you can take tainted soil and heat sand and combine them and you get soul sand. So that is a pretty neat way of getting soul sand. You can also find in the Nether sulfur clouds and ash clouds. And they break pretty easily. Now a sulfur cloud, when you fill a 2x2 crafting grid with it, you will get some sulfur. And an ash cloud, when you fill a 3x3 grid with it, you will get a bit of charcoal. So that's kind of an interesting feature. Let's switch back to here and we will find... I already passed it a long time ago. There we go. So, combining 4 sulfur clouds will get you a bit of sulfur. Then you combine 4 sulfur and you get gunpowder. So, you have a way of getting gunpowder without having to kill, about 100 creepers. Alright. Let's see if I can work up an appetite. Just hop around in the trees a little bit. Do some sprint running. And while we're doing that, let's talk about what is up in the sky. As you can see, there's a lot of blocks up there. Well, those are actual stationary clouds that this mod adds. And if you go high enough, you can collect them yourself. And they function the same as these clouds. When you land on them, your descent is slowed until you come to a gentle stop. Alright, I seem to have worked up enough of an appetite. Let's try out Stingberry. Only restores a little bit of hunger and gives you a momentary boost in strength. That's pretty cool. Alright. Let's work up a little bit more hunger again. So you've probably noticed while I'm running around that there's these blue flowers all over the place. Along with that, there's this stuff that looks a lot like wheat. Well, this stuff that looks a lot like wheat is actually barley, and it can function exactly the same way as wheat. And the blue flowers, they are bluebells, and you can put them in your crafting grid like a yellow flower or a rose, and you will get some blue dye out of them. So let's go ahead and grab some of this barley. There we go. And if we head over here, we will find some more of the plants that you can find just growing out in the wild. At least I think it was over here. Where are you at, plants? You know, it was probably the opposite direction. No matter. Hey look, we got some raspberries. Let's see. I'm looking for a particular kind of plant that I saw earlier when I was just running around at random. And I'm starting to think it was over by the forest, not over here. Ah, there they are. Hello, little plants. These are cotton plants. And you can punch them and you will get a bit of cotton. If you right click on them, apparently they will explode into seeds. Now cotton can be used in place of... well, cotton can be used to get string or to get wool. And of course, it's much more efficient to use non-cotton to get the wool that you want rather than to use them to turn to string to get the wool you want. You save yourself 3 cotton by doing so. Alright, now that we're good and hungry, let's take a bite of the skyberry. But we're going to do it in a place where I can actually fall and take some decent damage. Because I assume it's going to give me slow fall. Actually, it gives you slowness and a jump boost. A very minor jump boost, but that's pretty cool. So my assumption of that was a little bit off, so it's a good thing I didn't actually jump before trying to eat it. So let's see, how about a blightberry? Alright, it will poison you, yet give you regeneration at the same time. So in a way, it gives you a minor regeneration buff. And last but not least, the duskberry. Oh boy. Momentary blindness, but it does give you night vision. So, it gives you a temporarily negative downside, but you do get a decent upside from it. Which makes me wonder... nope, that's not the berry I wanted. And you're not the berry I want either. Okay, the berry want's not grown back yet, so we're going to ignore that. And eat a raspberry. And a blueberry. Now, none of these foods are actually very filling. Of course, you are kind of eating them just on their own and in little tiny portions and raw. But you can take the berries and combine them in a bowl and you can get a berry medley. It just takes 3 berries or 4 berries if you have 2 bowls, and you will get a nice berry medley. So let's give myself one of those and see if that gives you any temporary boost to anything whatsoever. And while we're at it, we will get this glow shroom stew. This raw imp hide and cooked imp hide. Yes, this mod does actually add a few new mobs. There's imps, heat scar spiders, nitro creepers, and baby heat scar spiders. So let's go ahead and grab those. And just for protection purposes, we're going to go ahead and grab a Manulium longsword. So, get out of creative mode. Let's take a chomp of this raw imp hide very close to a pool of water, because once you eat it, you gain hunger and you are set on fire. However, with a cooked imp hide, you become poisoned, but you gain fire resistance. Unfortunately now I'm so full that I can't eat anymore. So let's go ahead and waste a little bit of time by spawning a baby heat scar spider. And look at that thing. And if it wasn't for all this grass, I could hit the dang thing. Yeah, looks like I get barley seeds from the grass. I learned something new right now. I've broken so much grass I didn't get any seeds, so I just figure that you don't get it from grass. Alright, so how about a nitro creeper? Red and explodes extremely fast. So, the baby heat scar spider actually was a little bit big, so I wonder how big a normal heat scar spider is supposed to be. Let's find out. Oh yes, that is one big spider. And it takes a lot to kill it with this sword. Okay, this is a very strong sword, and it's taking a while to kill. Oh boy, that was intense. But it did drop some flame string, which is actually a component in making bows. We'll get to that in a moment. Now let's take a look at this imp. Imp is a very tiny thing and doesn't really seem to be interested in fighting. In fact, it seems to want to run away from me. And it looks a little bit like a pig. It also disobeys the laws of gravity. There we go. So let's take a look at the bow that this string is able to make. With 3 flame string and any kind of stick that is made from trees you find in the nether, you can get a special kind of bow. Pretty much just a nether bow. And let's actually spawn one of those. And we'll get ourselves some arrows. Oh, by the way, there is also a way of making arrows that do not use feathers. You have to have ghostwood fletching, which is made with ghostwood sticks and ghostwood leaves. And it takes 3 of them to make an arrow. Alright, so let's check out what this fusewood bow is capable of doing. It pretty much kills things fairly easily. Although I don't know how this compares to a regular bow right now, because I haven't used a bow to kill sheep before. If there was pigs here, I would have a better way of knowing. 'Cause I use test pigs for everything. Unfortunately, there's just sheep here. Well, it certainly does take a while to kill a blue slime with this. So maybe it's not that great. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and wear off some more hunger, and then we're going to try out these different stew and medleys, and we'll see if they give you anything useful. I already know what the glowshroom stew does for the most part. I just have not tried berry medley. So see you in a moment. Alright, so I got my hunger down next to nothing. So let's take a quick swig of glowshroom stew. And you get night vision weakness. That was the other one that you get. Which I suppose makes a decent amount of sense. You are eating some random glowing mushrooms that you just found laying around and decide to make into a stew. You're probably going to get a little bit sick off that. Hey, some blackberries. Now how about the berry medley? Well, actually, let's wait for these to wear off first, so we can see with a clean start what it gives you. Just 10 more seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it should be wearing off. Yep, so berry medley. What does that give you? Absolutely nothing but an empty bowl. Well, it's worth knowing whether it gives you a benefit or not, as mostly everything else in this mod does seem to give you a benefit when you eat it. So, going back to the creative menu, and getting blown up by a creeper, that just didn't realize I was in creative mode as of the time he tried to explode. Poor creeper. Wasted his one explosion on a man that couldn't be killed. There is a couple different food items I have not talked about yet. There is the saguaro fruit, the cactus juice, and the potash apple. And I am mainly curious about this potash apple because I do believe it comes from a darkwood tree, as there seems to be apples on the darkwood leaves. Of course, you cannot eat it in creative, so it does absolutely nothing different other than give you food. Well, that's worth knowing. I was almost certain that it would do something strange. Can you use it in a crafting recipe? Not at all. Let's see, the saguaro fruit is actually gotten from a particular kind of cactus. Yes, the saguaro cactus. It grows like a tree and gives fruit after a rainstorm. Now, I have not seen one of these, but that's probably because I haven't seen a desert biome nearby, and I have a feeling that I would have to travel quite a distance in order to see one. So, I'm going to leave that one as a surprise for you guys to find. Let's see, we will talk about actually two last things. Three last things. I forgot to mention, you can get imp skin from those imps, and you can turn them into armor, which comes pre-enchanted with mainly fire protection, along with a different kind of protection for each piece, such as regular protection, blast protection, projectile protection, and feather falling protection. So you can combine seeds into a bag using 9 of the seed item. I don't know where you get the bag from doing that, but you do get a bag, so just go with it. This allows you to plant a 3x3 area instead of planting things one at a time. I am assuming it also lets you stack them up to a significant amount. Yes, it does, so you can plant 3 times as many plants as you normally can. Or would it be 9 times? It'd be 9 times as many plants as you normally can. Let's see, cactus juice is obtained when you put some regular cactus into your crafting grid, and you get some cactus juice. And there is also wheat and barley flour. This is simply made by putting 1 of a barley or a wheat into your crafting grid, and you get a flour back. Now you can use this flour in place of a bunch of wheat in your cake recipe, or you can cook it up in an oven and get a bread. So you get 3 times as much bread for your wheat. And I suppose 3 times as much cake, provided you have 3 times the amount of ingredients you normally would have to make one. So that is it for this mod, and I am a little bit disappointed that there's not very much more crossover compatibility between Natura and Tinker's Construct. I would have loved to see perhaps different wood being able to use as different colored handles, at the very least, for your weapons. However, it does give you different wooden tools in different colors, so I suppose that kind of goes with the same concept. As always, you can find the link to this mod in the description below, and there's going to be a new link in the description for these mod videos from now on. This link will take you to a website called, let's see, what was it called? Modsaholic. That's what it was called. Modsaholic or Modaholic? Let me double check, because I don't want to give you the wrong name. It's Modsaholic. Now this website is a pretty new website, and from what I understand, the people that have created it ran a website before called Armaholic, which was a website dedicated to the Arma games. So if you're trying to find mods for Minecraft or any other kind of game that you are into, do give this website a quick look and see if there is a category for the game that you're trying to find. If there's not, try suggesting adding a thread for it, and we'll see if it can get onto the website. Just don't forget to like, subscribe, and fave. Check out that new website. I'll see you next time. Take care, and goodbye.